strong, agile, precise. They throw axes like the warriors of old, not to harm anyone, but for sport.
The red center scores 5 points. The blue ring 4, 3, and if they don't hit the target, it's a big fat 0.
What do you know about Paul Bunyan?
I know that he had an ox named Dave.
He made the Grand Canyon by scooping it out with his giant shovel.
That the Mississippi River was formed by him dragging trees.
He had a ginormous cow that was blue.
How the trees used to be so tall they touched the sky and stuff until he came along and mowed them all down.
And he's pancake griddle this big, and he was able to take trees down in one swing of his axe.
He had this huge griddle for making pancakes.
He was a lumberjack, and wherever he walked in the state of Minnesota was supposed to be where a lake is, and that's why we have so many, we have like 10,000 lakes.
Everything he did was on a big scale.
Oh, he ate like 1,000,000 flapjacks or something for breakfast. I don't know.
The tall tales of the legendary lumberjack Paul Bunyan may still be alive, but the reality of one of our nation's earliest and most dangerous occupation remains unknown to most people. Lumberjacking in the upper Midwest began in the 1830s. A large demand for timber across the nation resulted in a booming need for lumberjacks, over 500,000 from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Thousands of these lumberjacks worked in the forests of Minnesota and Wisconsin. Historians, like those at the Minnesota Historical Society, are busy keeping these lumberjack traditions alive.
Okay!
Musical stones.
What's that?
They want to play musical stones.
Oh, you have any stones? Where are you going, Jay? Come here, dear. Come here, dear. Way to be a lumberjack, you've got to be fast on your feet. Are you fast on your feet? You are? Here we go. All right, then. Come here and we'll find out, won't we?
I'm probably the youngest logger in the camp, so if I stayed for a while, I'd probably become pretty good. So right now my job is a road monkey, and I have to pick up the horse droppings.
I'm blacksmith. Take care of shoeing the horses. Bring them in. Bring the animals right in here. Put their shoes on them.
Easy, easy.
And once all the shoeing's done, then we'll take care of taking the repairs. Anything that gets broken, chains, log tongs. This time of the year, that's what we're going to see the most. Later on, when we start hauling, then of course we'll see the big sled parts coming in.
It was a strenuous, challenging, and downright dangerous occupation. But when mastered by the lumberjacks, the skills translated from work to recreation.
It's always competition. So, you know, there'll be competitions on how big of a sleigh load they can haul. You know, how much weight the horses can pull, how fast they can load a sled.
That's what the games are for. There's 300 camps in the North Woods in Minnesota. So they all bring in their best loggers and they have the competition and see which camp is better.
Well, when you come out, bragging rights, more important than the wages. Sunday,
typically a day of rest for lumberjacks, turned into a day of competition and entertainment. Lumberjacks would compete for bragging rights about their occupational skills. Many times, the competition would pit one lumberjack camp against another, and the sport of lumberjacking was born.
The reason we do this type of a competition, per se, is we're trying to keep the sport alive. I mean, back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, when lumberjacks, roamed free up here, they would have competitions similar to this, and we don't want the sport to die. I mean, it's a great individual sport, and I love the entertainment aspect of it, too.
Give it her a little something else to keep down. Both of them doing a pretty good job. Oh, no! Oh, boy, you hate to see that.
We can entertain crowds of a couple thousand and keep them on the edge of their seats.
Hey, Gino, where are you going there, buddy?
I'm going home!
Now, clearly that looked painful, but I mean, I think it's probably on everybody's mind. Did you injure yourself on that fall?
Oh, it was nuts. It was crazy. Sorry, it was crazy. Yeah. I hurt my shoulder.
Your shoulder? Well, it's a good thing you got two of those.
The crew that I have here with me at the Minnesota State Fair is an awesome group.
Rory has agreed to do something a little special here for us this afternoon. He's going to do a little chainsaw carving for the show. And not just any old carving here. He's going to do what we call a speed carving. So he's been practicing a lot and making these things with very, very few cuts. Now, Rory, what are you planning on carving up here today?
Oh, well, I don't like to usually tell the audience. I like to make a little game out of it, see which I can guess first.
You want me to guess? All right, so you're going to give them a few clues first to get them started?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a few random obscure clues, see which I can guess first. You ready? It's a rabbit.
Rory and Kurt, they're both from upstate New York. They got their start at the college level.
And he will win. Buddy, put your hands together for Kurt Garboski winning that.
Curtis just graduated, and he competed in the Steel Collegiate Series.
Kurt, hey, I know you've done a little chainsaw carving in the past. Do you think you might be able to save this rabbit?
Oh yeah, sure. I'll carve a real rabbit for you folks. You ready?
You're gonna carve a real rabbit?
Oh, well, not a real rabbit. That'd be gross.
That would be gross.
And Roy's an up-and-comer. He's going to be one of the top climbers in the world here in the future. He's somebody to watch. Rory Rosenbarker.
Well, first of all, the money, they're paying me good, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot.
Are you trying to tell everybody that you're done there, Rory?
Oh, yeah, this is my rabbit right here. Eyes, ears, nose, and toes all rolled into one.
We have a Lumberjill with us, Greta Ingebrigtsen from Hayward, Wisconsin. She's one of the top 10 boom runners in the world.
There she goes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe got that fifth one. Regardless, though, Greta is your winner. Give her a big hand, everyone.
I've been log rolling for 11 years, and I just started boom running probably about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, he follows up with a big water kick there for Greta. He almost falls on that one. And again, he's taking some chances.
Hopefully they enjoyed it, and just to see something different, and that actually all the stuff we do here in the show, we compete in. But way back when they used to log, like this stuff was actually someone's job, a full-time, all day, every day.
Kicking water at the audience. There's another one. And he's got Greta on the rock, and down she goes!
The World Championships are held every summer up in Hayward, and when I was 9, my mom brought us down there, me and my little sister, just to try it out because, why not? Hayward's known for it, so maybe we can get you guys into it. It was hot out, it was in the water, and we did it twice a week, and so we got excited about that, and then it just became a passion, so.
Here she goes. 1, 2, 3.
Spin it, and in. Greta makes a clean run.
With a population of less than 2,500 people, Hayward, Wisconsin is just a dot on the map. But for 3 days every summer, Hayward's population more than quadruples in size. It is here, in the small town in northern Wisconsin, where the Lumberjack World Championships have been held for over 50 years.
And now we're ready for the speed climb. Just a second breather there. But ultimately, they need to get halfway through this log.
They are the masters of their sport, with thousands of fans traveling to cheer on and charge up the athletes. They are Lumberjacks and Lumberjills. Many come for the competition, some to defend their titles.
Mandy Sobiak, ladies and gentlemen. I'll allow you to get that from our wonderful queen.
And others to continue a legacy that was nearly forgotten.
And they would have, friendly competitions. One man would say, I'm the best at log rolling, I'm the best climber, I can cut faster than anyone. And so they would have little contests, and that's the beginnings of the lumber sports. The log rolling came from the lumberjacks walking on the logs. You see, they had to get out there and break up those log jams. That was the main reason they walked on them, to keep the timber moving. But you had to have good balance to walk on those logs. They moved. If you've ever tried it, I don't know, I haven't, and I don't think I could do it. Why we have so many good log rollers here is we have a log rolling school, and the kids start when they're this big. They're like 4 or 5 years old when they start here.
Here in Hayward is the cradle that rocked the rollers. Here is where some of Hayward's heroes got their start.
I actually started rolling in this very spot in Lumberjack Bowl in the shallow water on the other side back in 1985 or 86. I was 5 years old. It was the summer I turned 6, so I started rolling 26 years ago.
I'm a member of the local log rolling school. I'm a log rolling instructor, and so when I'm not rolling, I work sometimes in the log rolling tank out behind the stands right over there, and I teach kids log rolling, give them a quick lesson, see if they can dunk each other in the water.
Okay, so quick feet. Watch each other's feet, arms out, ready, go.
We start lessons around 3 or 4 years old, and I'm not quite sure when I started, but I've been rolling for quite a while. This is my first year rolling professionally, and I'm 16 years old, which is the minimum to roll professionally, and so I don't weigh very much compared to these other men, so they can kick me off pretty easily. So my main goal when I'm rolling is to try to stay light on my feet and let my opponent tire themselves out.
If it wasn't for the guys working in the woods, I always give a bunch of the log rollers a hard time. But somebody at one point said that they weren't going to have the two-man.
Team down here on number 4, their logs split out. But how about a hand for all 4 of our master soaring team?
And I said, hey, let's face it, if it wasn't for us guys doing two-man, you log rollers wouldn't have anything to do. If we didn't cut the logs, you wouldn't have anything to play with. So, I mean, it all goes together.
Truly, when you get on the chopping block, they may be best of friends off, but every man for himself or every woman for themselves. We're going for the gold. We're going for that championship, and there's some money to be had too. So everything's on the line.
At chopping position number 3 for us today from Bemidji, Minnesota, Dave Stadler.
Super senior Dave Stadler, 70 years young, starting on 3.
Now I guess I'm what you would call semi-retired.
3, Lawrence O'Toole Sr. from Australia, starting 27 seconds back. But watch the way this guy has already got around. World-class athletes out here, folks. Help them out. They're all trying to get into the top 4 for tomorrow. Halliday and Stadler come off together. O'Toole right behind him. Let's keep it going for Gus.
For 12 years, I worked for a chainsaw company, and that's where I got halfway started in racing chainsaws and building chainsaws and that kind of stuff.
And you look at men that are using not the old standard saw, but they've evolved it with the hot saw. It's a snowmobile engine on a saw, and they're going with 3 cuts. The world record, again, is under 6 seconds.
1, go.
The events that I compete in are primarily the chopping and sawing events. Those are the ones that I excel at.
2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Who's it going to be? 2's going for the drop. Oh, just half a blow ahead of O'Toole. Baptism time is ready. Contestants ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
When we're out here chopping and sawing, we're celebrating an old-time heritage of using the axe and using the saw. We're not only celebrating our familiar lines, but we're also celebrating yours if you happen to be someone who grew up in an area where there are trees.
Go.
It's an extreme sport, from a little bit of the showboat to, again, all the workday skills that actually happened out in the forest. Everything had its basis there. There was a need for a man to do what we call like the springboard chop. You go up on a tree, you need to get to the soft upper woods. How did you get there? You didn't have extension ladders at that time, so you'd get up to a point and then you would put a board, notch a board in, which allowed you to have more height so that you could get up to the woods that you needed to cut.
So he's doing a great job there. He's got to get it out. He's got his file, he's got to chip it out so he can slam it. It's still, you'll be disappointed with Eddie. It's such a great shot to that event.
You're always putting yourself out there with that element of danger. And in today's world, I think we still like to see that element of danger. We like to see that we have roots, we have that feeling of nostalgia. Remember when, or maybe you're 80 years old, or maybe you were, 5 when you saw it on TV. It gives you that kind of connection. So I think it's truly a piece of the American pie.
By 1940, industrialization had made lumberjacks nearly obsolete. Chainsaws replaced crosscut saws and axes. Roads were built to haul timber, so the dangerous task of harvesting and shipping logs down rivers to sawmills was no longer necessary. The original skills and craftsmanship of lumberjacking were being lost under a wave of modernization. But here in Hayward, the spirit of lumberjacking lives on. The sport of boom running was a direct result of river driving. The competitors race across a chain of floating logs to a dock, turn around and come back across the pond.
Cheer them on, they can hear you out there. Number 23, Sterling Hart, 80, Darren Hudson there around the barrel at the same time. Both of them got good runs going there. Looks like Sterling's in the lead a little bit, Darren's in the water.
And I love the boom run, but I have to tell you, my all-time favorite is the speed climb. To think about a man who can go up 90 feet, 9 stories, and you virtually are running vertically up and to basically free fall down, and do that around 20 seconds and less. Amazing.
1, go.
This is Greg Carolina for the World Championship. Looks like Brian's got about a half a pro lead, but Sterling's taking it. It's going to be close. Who's going to hit that bell first? They both hit the bell.
Incredible racing. Of course, that fence is not to keep the audience out, it's to keep those guys in. It's the loony bin over there.
The pole climb is one of the most exciting competitions at lumberjack sport events. Using steel core climbing ropes and spurred climbing shoes, the contestants race up 60 and 90-foot poles and return to the ground in a near free-falling fashion.
And on pole number 4, also from Hayward, Wisconsin, looking to win his first world championship. Let's hear it for Derek Knudsen.
And in the 60-foot climb, on the descent, the guy has to touch the tree every 15 feet. You'll see the black lines painted on him. So the competitor actually has to touch in the tree every 15 feet. And it's the first one to the top and back down to the pad.
Help them out, folks. These guys are working.
We try not to look down until we get to the top, and then it's just trying to make it down.
Brian Marceau, followed by Cassidy and Derek.
We had a pole climber who actually, I think, captured it the best. I said, what does it feel like? And he said, it's an escape from reality. You know, you can't get better than that. You really can't.
You just have to be there, and once you perfect it, it doesn't matter what sport you're in. When you're at the top of that game, it becomes a whole different level, a whole different aura. You're just all out there, and you forget about everything. You just want to do your best, and you feel the moment, and there's nothing else that matters to you except for where you are at that time, and that's the purity of sport. Come time for Sunday, the finals, it's on, so we'll see what we really got.
Ladies and gentlemen, now direct your attention. This is for the World Championship now this year at Hayward. It's men's log rolling, brought to you by Hayward Power Sports. Back to you, Dusty.
All right, we have a 2 world champion, J.R. Salzman from Hayward, Wisconsin, coming up here versus Darren Hudson from Nova Scotia, Canada. Both of these guys have been in the finals multiple times. J.R. winning it last year. Darren's looking to regain that title, but J.R. says, not going to happen.
And I'm going after the world title in the log roll, and I really want it bad this year, so I'm not even going to climb. Just going to log roll and boom run.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have another one of our classic log rolling finals. J.R. Salzman, a 7-time log rolling champion, 2-time boom run.
There's a lot of strategy, especially in the log rolling contest. Of course, you have to have the basics is to have great balance, agility, stamina, conditioning, and but then when it gets down to it, you jump on a log in the water with somebody who's trying to knock you off. First of all, it's hard to stay on the thing, but then when somebody's trying to put you in the water too, it becomes a real serious mental game.
All log rollers have a preferred shoulder. They're right-handed or they're left-handed. In the last match, we had a right-hander and a left-hander. In this match, we have 2 left-shouldered rollers. Changes the dynamic.
As weird as it sounds, kind of a goofy sport, but it's been my entire recovery. I mean, when I got blown up in Baghdad by a roadside bomb, and the medic showed up. I was still locked in my Humvee. The medic pulled up, opened my door, and my arm was gone. And he started putting a tourniquet on, and he started apologizing. He's like, I'm so sorry this had to happen to you. I'm so sorry. And I go, hey man, it's all good. I still got my legs. I can still log roll. And he thought obviously I was in shock, but it means that much to me that I keep doing this.
JR reaching over that log, trying to cuff it, trying to change the direction aggressively, try and get your opponent's spike stuck in the log, and you actually aggressively can push or pull that log.
Kick the other opponent by shifting your weight on the log, a quick acceleration to try to shift them into the water. Or you can just simply try to tire them out and wait till they make a deadly mistake and then dump them in the drink.
Classic example of how JR is just that steady on that log that he does not move his body position. When JR goes in, typically he is just going to drop his body and he's not going to see his arms flying.
A former sheriff, his name is Clayton Farnsworth, and when he was a young man, he did chopping. He chopped in competitions and things. But then he went off to World War II, and he captured a Japanese bunker single-handedly and had his arm shot, and it's shattered by the bullet. And they were going to amputate his arm. But he was just in luck that one of the doctors working on him was from Hayward and knew him and said, let's try to save his arm. And they did. And then after that, he went back to chopping to rehab his arm. And he became a national champion, and he also was second in the world championships here.
To make some moves to throw their opponent off balance. You see the white line in the center, they cannot step on that line. If they step on that line, they'll be disqualified in that fall.
So you have to have confidence in yourself and your ability to stay out there, but you also want to try to psych the other person out, try to make them think you're strong when you're weak, or weak when you're strong, maybe get their confidence up, or you can also, when you get into a big battle, like you want to keep hammering the guy.
Don't get ready to cheer him on, folks. Jay on the right, Darren on the left. They like to hear your cheers. I'm kind of curious, who out there is cheering for Darren out there? Who's cheering for JR?
It's been a heck of a week. I mean, I've been sick for the last 3 days rolling. I just found out I have Lyme's, and I just started the medication. And today the medication actually made it worse. I woke up thinking I was going to throw up the entire day, so it's been rough.